I'm sure it was a good game for the neutrals. If you were a Liverpool fan, you were probably kicking the wall or tearing your hair out. For Man United, I'm sure they are glad to just take points off Liverpool and slow their quest to a title. Coach, what are we getting into?
At the end of the day, Arsenal do believe that they are the winners for the week. Well, this is exactly what they were hoping for. It's everybody, Arsenal knew that Liverpool going to United, anything was possible.
Was already a slippery game.
Always a slippery game, so they needed to. They say, I'm not going to waste too much time on the first goal. I think it's another indication of Man United not being able to defend properly. So I start with the second goal. Now, let it go again, and then I'll bring it back. So, okay, let it go, and then I'll bring it. I'll point out what Kwanzaa here didn't do well. So let it start, and then pause. Now, if you look at here, there was absolutely no danger whatsoever. Kwanzaa comfortably in position. I mean, he's in possession of the ball, very comfortable. There's a gap. The closest Man United player was what? Rasmus Hojlund. Look at all the United setup. As to why he checked back, only he can tell.
I don't understand.
I think he could have advanced this ball forward and then decided to go right to the right back that I'm so much in love with, Bradley. But look at him. If you roll this, and then go forward, he checked back, check. He knew Van Dijk was behind him. He had seen Bruno somewhere here. But the moment he checked back, Bruno knew that the next pass would go to Van Dijk. So Bruno too was attempting to what? Close Van Dijk down. Unfortunately for Kwanzaa, and fortunately for Bruno, the execution of the pass to Van Dijk didn't work out. And look, and again, I like to take such opportunity to highlight. I've already said, in the game of football, the center circle you see here, that is where the goalposts find themselves. From this line.
The edges of the center circle.
From here. Let's say from here to here. That is the goalpost. That is the goal. So Bruno then knew that the moment the pass got to him, he had seen the goal.
He's within the frame of the goal.
The goalkeeper, Liverpool goalkeeper, was completely out of possession. All he needed to do that, if I can hit this straight,
that's a goal.
it ends up in the back of the net. And the technique was absolutely audacious because he didn't have time on it. It was the first time hit, and he needed to execute it perfectly. And there you go. Bang.
It's almost like a pass.
You understand? So that is the goal. He knew that is where the goalpost set. So again, two things to be learned here. Kwanzaa should have gone forward and picked a forward pass. Bruno Fernandes, when the pass came into the act, he knew that was the goalpost, and then he went for it. So these are the tactical know-how. Now, if you come, I think, have I selected the next one correctly? Okay, yeah, good. Let me pause it here. Let me bring it back here. You see, at times it is good to play a high line, but watch the Liverpool players. How many of them were passive? Per that Casemiro overkick. Look at them. Oh, how many of them were passive? If you count them here, how many of them were passive? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at the gap that Mainoo had to exploit. Look at the gap of Mainoo. So now he knew when the ball got to him, when the ball got to Mainoo, I want to pause this. Look at the man here. Nobody gives him the chance of putting this ball in the back.
This is not a chance.
This is absolutely not a chance. But again, to all the young players there, if you look at him technically, he didn't tend to watch where the goalpost was. These players are taught to be aware.
This is an old man goal.
This is an old man goal. He reminded me of...
This is like a 30-year-old striker's goal.
You don't expect this from a 18, 19
The control with his left, and he turned on the control.
Yes, you see, the control was to create the space for the right foot to...
Mainoo is such a good
he's a class. He reminds me of Clarence Seedorf.
That's
These are the sort of things you see the young Clarence Seedorf do with these.
And he didn't look surprised to have scored.
No, it's a normal thing. Because you see, there are times where drills are performed at the training ground to boost the quality of such players technically. And for me, again, the key to this goal is the arc. Once he turned and he saw the arc, he knows where the goalpost is. So once he needed to do was to just make sure that he's on target. And there you go. No goalkeeper is saving that. Super goal from the young man. Then we go to the last goal of the game, which of course
was the penalty.
look, I'm always a fan of Wan-Bissaka when it comes to him being on 1v1 situation. If you look at him here, this is the pass, pause it here. Look at Elliott. Look at the number of Man United players in that box.
Elliott is going nowhere.
Nowhere. So if Wan-Bissaka gets closer and closer, he hands him over to Harry Maguire. Behind Maguire, there's what's the name of the young man? Cambuela. There's Cambuela, and then there's Dalot. And look at the position here of Amrabat. I think Amrabat was well positioned to
deal
make sure
with his
that
threats.
if the ball comes here, he cannot come. If it is going there, he can attempt to block it. Now, Wan-Bissaka, why do you go down? Why do you go down? Absolutely no danger whatsoever. He just gave the game away.
And you could tell he hit the ground a couple of times after the tackle. You could tell he was disappointed in himself.
Very, very disappointed. We all know him to be the best when it comes to sliding.
It's almost like he knew he had sold his team.
Yes, exactly. And you see, the only thing that could have bailed him out here was to him being sure that he needed to touch the ball. Again, tactically, technically, centre backs, defenders, don't go down. Stay on your feet. If you have to, look, you can afford to go down anywhere, but not in the box. Because if you were to go down in the box like in this situation...
Because when I first saw this, I thought this was a soft penalty,
yes,
to be honest. I thought there was very minimal contact.
We were talking about it before we came on.
I thought it was a soft penalty.
And I said, no, it was a penalty because he didn't touch any part of the ball. And the fact that he more or less impeded the movement of Elliott, and Elliott's right foot went in between his legs, that obviously confirmed it as a penalty. So look, Arsenal, the week belongs to them. Now, the very things I said last week, or the last time I was here, or even on Sports Panorama, that Liverpool had their destiny in their hands. Now, I'm going to reframe that statement.
Arsenal have their destiny.
Arsenal have the destiny. So it is theirs to lose. But hey, there are still interesting games.
A lot of football to be played.
Lots of football to be played. Arsenal will come to Old Trafford. I have the
Arsenal have Spurs to play as well at the Tottenham Stadium.
I have that funny feeling that Manchester United will prefer Arsenal to win it than for Liverpool to win it and equal 2020 Premier League, or for Man City to win it
and make it four
in a row. They will prefer Arsenal to win it.
Edwin, let me take your thoughts on this game.
Look, I watched it from the beginning, and initially I was impressed with how United started. Very high, very pushing Liverpool as high as possible. But then I was wondering, how long were they going to maintain that intensity? Not for long, I thought. Casemiro would tire very easily. Kobe Mainoo had a lot of work to do. Would the Rashford and Garnacho help out? And after those first 10, 15 minutes, Liverpool took over because they had the more stable midfield, a midfield that could handle that pressure, that intensity. And eventually they took over. But the goal didn't come from any of that situation. It came from a problem that United have been having all season, which is set pieces. They've conceded the most shots from set pieces. That means that anytime a team goes on the attack from a free kick, from a corner kick, anytime they put the ball into the box, they eventually almost always get a shot on goal. And it's been going on for quite a while in the Premier League. We saw it against Chelsea in midweek where Cole Palmer scored from. We saw it again in this game several times, not just from the goal Diaz scored. And it was just embarrassing for United in that first half. In the second half, I thought they improved very well because primarily of the goal they scored. The moment they scored the goal,
just switched up the momentum.
Switched up. The fans got into the game. The players also feeding off the fans' energy. They also got into it. But Jurgen Klopp will be very upset that Liverpool did not take it.
Oh, he was upset.
He was
in
upset
that first
in
half.
game.
You could tell in the first half he was upset.
Because they had several
15
chances
shots
to kill off this game. Mo Salah missed a couple of chances.
Nunez.
Diaz missed one really bad one at the end and a couple of good ones.
Nunez
also missed one. Liverpool had this game in the bag.
Yeah, and first half and the 5-0.
Look, if they don't win the title, they will look back at this game and say, how did we not win this game?
This is the thing I've been saying about the people who make it look like Liverpool lost the league by 1 point twice and it was a great achievement. all those times the league was Liverpool's to lose, and
Liverpool's
they had games where they could have wrapped it up, they could have
faulted.
and they faulted, and they are doing
and Man City eventually
and they are
came
doing
back.
and they are doing it
And they
again,
are
and
doing
so
it. Because look, they were just as quick one. They were playing against a very young Manchester
Yeah.
United team. This Man United, if you take out Casemiro and then you take out Harry Maguire,
Yeah.
the next oldest player I think was Rashford, 26 years. Apart from Rashford,
Fernandes maybe.
there's Bruno Fernandes, close to 30. But there was what? Anthony, Mainoo, Hoyland, and then the young defender,
Kumbuala.
So relatively a young team that don't have the experience of an established Man United. So if there was any time Liverpool wanted to play United at Old Trafford,
This would have been it. And let's put it on record that Liverpool have not beaten United this season.
Yeah, they
2
have
legs, they've drawn
in the draw,
they've drawn, and then they beat them in the FA
United
Cup.
beat
So
them in the FA
Liverpool, for all the good form, I'm sure they've realized, or they've been given a rude awakening. They figured out that you don't win these type of games on form. It's a derby, and it's pure emotion, it's temperament, and it's who can execute on the day.